I'm excited for this flyweight division again after Steve Urseg breathed a little fresh air into it. Even if he didn't get the job done, I think he still put on a great performance, as good as you can in a loss, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon. So I think the card turned out better than I expected as well. A lot of good fights
Yeah,
on there.
yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously, hard to follow UFC 300. Um, in Brazil wasn't as hyped. The media coverage wasn't as big, but I think as far as like for what we thought this card was going to be, I think it exceeded those expectations. I mean, obviously the main event was a great fight, and still Alexander Pantoja. Jose Aldo comes back, dominant performance. Anthony Smith early submission. Michelle Pereira early submission. Um, Coelho Borello knockout. Like great card all around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's get into the first and still Alexander Pantoja. What do you think about that fight?
Bro, great fight, dude. People hate on Alexandre Pantoja, and I don't know why. He's an exciting champ. His last three fights have been very good, exciting fights. The Royval one wasn't quite on the level of the Moreno fight and this one, but he goes to war in there. Even when I feel like one thing that I kept saying during the fight is every single time the tide would start to turn against Pantoja a little bit, he would do something. He would dig deep and just find a way to get on top, get it to the ground, get the advantage again. And he just did that over and over and over. He's the definition of championship mentality, championship medal in there. And I'm a Pantoja fan. I bet against him this time, and he made me pay for it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's like he said, like you gotta go. I think he said you gotta go in there with a gun or something to beat him, or you gotta
Mm-hmm.
kill him, and that's kind of just how he is. I mean, even going into that fifth round, everyone had it 2-2 winner of that round, and he dug deep, took advantage of Urseg's mistakes, and just finds a way to grind out wins. That's what it's about, man. Like you look at all these like reigning champions, all these guys. Like we talk about the like Israel Adesanya run, like the Volk run. Like there was a lot of fights in those where it was just like not impressive or stuff like that. But I mean, it's got to be your night, and sometimes you're off night. But it's just like I mean, it's obviously different than like football or basketball. There's so many games, but like in fighting, you fight 2-3 times a year. Like it's might not always be your night, but
Mm-hmm.
can you win when you don't have your best stuff? Can you win when you're down? Can you win when things aren't going your way? When you don't feel good? And that's what Pantoja does, and that's how you reign champion. That's how you have a long championship run.
Hell yeah, dude. That fired me up right there. I do have to say, I think Urseg did more damage in the fight, but Pantoja definitely
Yeah.
won more rounds.
What did you have it? Did you have it 3-2?
Yeah, I had it 2-2 going into the fifth, as most people did, I believe, and Pantoja won the fifth round. So the way that MMA is scored right now, can't argue the fact that Pantoja won, but there's a good argument for the damage over control time in this fight, definitely.
So did Pantoja beat Urseg, or did Urseg beat himself?
Bro, it feels like if he just keeps it on the feet in that fifth round, he outstrikes Pantoja and he wins that fight
Yeah.
because it was 2-2 going into the fifth, and one judge was on some bullshit. He had Pantoja winning four rounds in the fight, but the other two judges had it 2-2 going into that fifth round, so it did decide the fight. And it was going all right. I'd say it was about even until Urseg tried to shoot for that takedown, and his reasoning for it wasn't terrible reasoning. He said he was trying to mix it up, tire Pantoja out so he could really outclass him on the feet, which I kind of understood because Urseg was getting it going later in the rounds, every round it felt like. So I get where he's coming from. It's a split second decision in there, so it's freaking brutal.
Yeah.
And but dude, that right elbow into the left hook that Urseg threw a few times, that was disgusting. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that a lot more frequently.
Yeah, I definitely think. I mean, Ursek showed that he was the right guy for that fight. He belonged there. I mean, he's 5 minutes away from being a world champ. He made a couple mistakes, but I mean, it wasn't like he got ran through or he didn't belong there. He was literally in the fight when the fifth ring. So I think that he's obviously going to be back. How soon? And the path is different. It's weird because we had this conversation earlier in the week when I was saying, like, as far as his ranking, I don't think he should go down. I personally think he should go up. It's a different
Agreed.
situation because he wasn't a top 5 guy. He wasn't a top 7 guy. He was what, 10, 9?
Yep. He's up to 9 now, and I think he was 10 before the fight, so
Yeah.
went up one
So it's
spot.
like you got the 10 guy versus the 1 guy. No one gave him a chance. If you told anybody, I think during the week that it was going to be tied going into the 5th, they would have said no way. So he exceeded expectations. So I think let's reward him. Let's get him in the top 7, top 8. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a rare occasion where I think he should go up personally, and he did.
Dude, I don't know who he should fight next. It's a rarity because there's actually a lot of
Yeah,
options for him. Most of the flyweights
that
have
is
all fought each
different
other.
too because like, does he go a title eliminator right away next? Does he get a top 3, top 4 guy, or like he's still 9? So does he go from 10 fighting the championship to 9 fighting like 2 or 3? If that's the case, just put him at like 4 or 5. You know?
Yeah, that kind of does make me think that they might give him a not title eliminator next. Maybe a Manel Kape. That would be
Yeah.
pretty tough. I think Kape just
That's a
had
good
to
one.
pull. He just had to pull out of his fight. I'm pretty sure. So that would be a banger. I was thinking Kaikar of France as well. I think that falls into that tier. That wouldn't be a title eliminator, but that would be a sweet fight as well. That would be huge over there in Australia because they're both from there.
Yeah.
CKB versus a non-CKB guy.
Yeah, I like Usyk though, man. He showed me a lot. Definitely, I was kind of iffy. I would have bet Pantoja, but we made out. We made out on the card. We were talking. My formula worked to perfection. We got it to a T. We'll get into the other ones, but I said either Paul Craig, Io Portiera, or Anthony Smith wins. You profit. Bet all 3 money lines. They're big dogs. Anthony Smith came up clutch, and then after the profit, I went Aldo, and then the good bet, I felt like a genius. We went Usyk inside the distance, and then Pantoja by decision. So we profited on that, both plus money. Just had to win one of those. But yeah, it was. I think that if you put this card not after 300 and not in Brazil, I think people are talking about like it was a really great, really good card.
Oh yeah, completely agreed. And none of the fights disappointed, which is pretty rare. On most cards, there's at least 1 or 2 fights that are a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
Dude,
What
Jose
is next
Aldo.
Let's go to Pantoja first. What is next for Pantoja?
It's a tough one, dude, because it's kind of back to square one where it was before they announced the Steve Usyk title shot. I mean, in the rankings, they have Royval at 1, Moreno at 2. Those both aren't possibilities because he's beaten both of those guys recently. Amir Albazi at 3, Kai Kara at 4, Alex Perez at 5. I'm kind of thinking it's going to be Amir Albazi next, which I'm not super excited about. It might be a sick grappling fight, though, honestly. Or maybe Muhammad Mokaev, but I think they probably go Albazi, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, he was supposed to be the next guy. I think he'll be the next guy. I don't know. I mean, it obviously feels like with Pantoja, he never wins pretty. He never wins. So, like, any night he could lose it. It's what it feels like. But he just finds a way to grind it out. And the more he stacks these ugly wins or he grinds out these wins, just the more experience he has and it gets these later rounds. I mean, you could tell, like, in the 4th, 5th, obviously, like Usyk, it's just different. Like, Usyk didn't know how to be there in a championship fight in the 5th round. Pantoja's been there. So it's just like the experience that he gets on these fights. Like Pantoja's getting a lot of title fights under his belt.
Yep. And I believe he did say he also wants to take some time off because he's fought in 3 times in the last 12 months. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him back in action for a decent amount of time, maybe even till next year.
Yeah.
So the flyweight division might look a little different next time he's back in action. My guy Tatsuro Taira might be up there. Got booked on the McGregor card, I think, or one of the pay-per-views. So we'll be on the lookout for him as well.
Yeah, definitely. Now to get into your guy, Jose Aldo. What a legend. God,
the king
man.
of Rio. The
So
king
good.
of Rio defends his crown, man.
I'm so glad we talked about this on the pod like last week, how we were just like, he's really like never like hit the cliff or never like, he was still like that guy. God, he was so good. He was so fast.
Could we call that a masterclass?
God, bro. Like, obviously it's a masterclass in itself, but just everything that's like retired came back. Like, dude, it was ridiculous. He looked almost better.
He did, bro. The break, the time off might have really just made him fresh. not
and
beating up
just
his body every day.
straight boxing for the time he was off. His boxing looks so good.
Yeah,
He was going to the body so fast. Like, oh my god.
he did have that bare knuckle fight, right? Against Jeremy Stevens, I think.
I don't think it was bare knuckle. I think they boxed on
Okay.
Masvidal's card, but they boxed.
Yeah. Dude, he looked so good. When he had that takedown, when he just flipped Martinez over, I said, it's over. It's over. Obviously, it's never over in a fight, but at that point, it looked pretty good.
Yeah, dude, I was so glad I had money on him, dude. That was one of the easiest ones I've ever had.
Ooh.
It was just a joy to watch.
Our guy Garrett with a good segue here. Watch out, Suge. Aldo said he wants to be fast tracked to the title. What's your opinion on that? Stacked division, obviously. If it was flyweight or light heavyweight, I think he gets the green light. But he's a legend.
I personally think, bro, my thing is this on this. I personally think, obviously, the way the division shakes out, it's no one's fault. It's the way it's supposed to go. But, like, at some point, you got to start giving Suga some, like, not favorable matchups. But, like, if he beats Marab, like, bro, I got to get a striker. I'm not fighting another fucking wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Corey.
I don't see why not. I don't see why not. You don't lose anything, I don't think, because obviously Suga Jose is a big time fight. You could sell that fight. It'd be a huge fight. Huge fight. And I don't think I think my thing with this is like, I think why the UFC was so hesitant on the Marab situation is because there's some thought in their mind that Marab can win that fight. And we've talked about it. He could win that fight. But I don't think they want Marab to be champion. I don't think the UFC would mind a Jose Aldo champion.
Not one bit. Better than Marab, definitely.
But that's how you get those fights. Like, that's how, like, I mean, that's why we're talking about, like, Urseg. Like, there must be something there with Urseg that we're missing, because for them to put him in this spot and have a chance to win a fight, like, you have to be fine with this guy being the champion.
Yeah, so it's just tough, though, because bantamweight is so stacked. Do you skip him over the winner of Umar and Corey? They just got announced for August. So
that's what I'm saying, bro. I don't think I think if it's Corey, you go Corey. If it's Umar, you just can't go back-to-back wrestlers, bro. You're not putting one of the faces of the company in a good spot. Eventually, he's gonna lose, bro. If he fights Marab and then Umar, that's 3 out of 4 wrestlers he's fought.
He could just be the GOAT if he beats them all.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah, it's definitely not as fun when it's a grappler compared to a striker, because when we were prepping for the Aljo fight, the whole time we're just thinking we got to stay on the feet. We got to stay on the feet.
And like none of the Aljo fight was fun except the last moment.
It was stressful, bro. It was stressful the whole time.
You look at the like Cheeto fight, like that was fun.
Facts, just a beatdown, or every other Suga fight up until the Aljo fight.
Yeah.
And do you think Jose has a chance against Suga? I mean, I personally, he looked really good, but I just think Suga is too sharp, too fast, too focused, too young.
Let me ask you this. Today, this moment, where do you set the line at for a Jose and Cheeto fight?
Oh, Jose minus 350.
Whoa, really?
I mean, he already beat him pretty good
once. Then you'd have to say that, I mean, obviously, Sean 50-45 Cheeto, but like you'd have to say then that Jose has a chance then, because he took Sugar to the distance.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, Sugar whooped Cheeto. Cheeto's chin is just on another level. I think 90% of fighters get finished in that fight, but that is fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, bro. I'm tired of seeing him fight these wrestlers. Obviously, I'm excited because Sugar Sean, but like, I don't know. The Marab fight's just not really getting me hard.
I'm excited just to see him put Marab's lights out and for all the haters to go away and scurry back in their little holes, dude. Because right now they love saying Marab's just going to bully Sugar. He's going to ragdoll him. I just think Sugar's a world-class athlete, and I don't think Marab is. Sugar's part of that next era of people that are going to be pro MMA fighters in 10 years that grow up doing this, and they are athletic enough to maybe go D1 in a sport, but they started fighting before that, and they're putting all that focus into fighting. I think Sugar's on that level. I don't think Marab is. I don't think Umar is. So I don't know. They don't worry me. I'm fine with anyone for our guy Sugar.
Yeah. Anthony Smith wins via sub. I was just thinking right now, a lot of this card, I mean, at least the last 3 fights had a lot to do with experience over youth. Mm-hmm. Alexander Pantoja obviously beats Usyk. Usyk made a couple costly mistakes. Jose Aldo, obviously the legend, beat Jonathan Martinez, just experience. Anthony Smith losing the fight until a mistake by Petrino.
Stupid, bro.
Yeah,
Stupid.
just levels to the sport, just levels.
Yeah, that's facts. I was a little worried. I put Petrino in a couple of parlays on fight day because I was just like, nah, Lionheart's not winning. And then I see he's 26 years old. That's very inexperienced, and Lionheart is very experienced. So that part did worry me a little bit, and it showed to play true.
Yeah, big time win from him. He's not far from a title lock. He's not far.
Yeah, he never is. He never,
he never is.
is.
He never is. He always loses. It's always like, all right, if he loses this one, he's out. But then he wins it, and then he'll lose it, and then he'll come back. He's always like, right, he doesn't go away.
No, he just sticks around right there.
Like he'll get a big time fight and lose the next one.
Mm-hmm. Like kind of a gatekeeper, but not really because he's just I don't know.
But it also has to do with the like where that division stands, though. It's nothing. It's not like it's just how the division is. If he was like in lightweight, it wouldn't be like that.
He'd be a forgotten man. Yeah.
Michelle Pereira wins via sub. Illegal?
Dude, I mean, by the book, yeah. Right?
Yeah. I thought they were going to give me a no contest, bro. I was going to get my money back.
Dude, that was, yeah. I had something that would have, I had Pereira by KO. So I was hoping that they would, I don't know. I was hoping they would call it like a KO somehow with his shin kicking him, but not DQ him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool and all, it's sick, but technically it is, right? And it had to have affected
it's not black and white, bro. The rule is what the rule is, and that's what it happened.
Yeah. Or it is black and white?
It is black and white,
Yeah, I got you. But dude, 7-fight win streak for Pereira. When do we see him fight a contender in that division? He was supposed to fight Wonder Boy, but he obviously didn't make the weight.
I don't think you can trust him, bro. That's the reality. Can't trust you.
Yeah. I mean, this fight was at 185, I think, so I guess he might have to climb up the ranks again. But, I mean, dude, they shouldn't be wasting this guy. He's a top 10, top 5 most entertaining fighter on the roster. And it's cool watching him crush cans, but it gets old after a while. You want to see him tested a little bit in there.
Yeah, definitely. He's really good. Paul Craig, bro, just looked bad.
Last era, bro. You could get away with that 10 years ago being a specialist in something, but everybody's too good everywhere now. So he just, looked old, looked slow, looked bad, got knocked out. It was sad, bro. I like Paul Craig.
Yeah. Anyone else on the undercard that impressed you?
Oh, let me see what the guy. There was a guy on the early prelims, Mauricio Rufy. I was going to put his highlights in here. I was going to do what I did for Peyton Talbot, but I forgot. Got a lot of Conor McGregor comparisons. It was his UFC debut, finished to Jamie Malarkey at the end of the first round. This looked really clean, crisp. I wasn't thinking this guy looks like Conor in there, but the announcers kept on saying it, and I mean, they know more than me, so there's got to be something there.
Yeah.
That guy was cool, and Joe Anderson Brito over Jack Shore with the leg kick stoppage with the cut. That was kind of weird because Jack Shore's team, I saw they posted today that the cut wasn't that bad, and it was BS that they stopped the fight. It only needed a few stitches. Yeah, it was bleeding a lot. It's hard to tell how much that really affects you because I remember it was Jan Blachowicz and Ankalaev. I think the same thing happened to Ankalaev's foot, but they kept the fight going and they fought like 4 more rounds. So I don't know. Jack Shore might have got wronged a little bit there. I don't think he was going to beat Brito anyway, though, honestly. Solid card. Also sucks for the Brazilians because they're 4 hours ahead of us. And it was like 9:30 or 10.
That shit would suck, bro. I don't know how they do that shit. That shit's weird.
Dude, the England one is terrible.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like that at all, bro. I mean, I don't know. I personally, like, unless it's like a big time card, obviously in the USA, but like, I don't mind like cards starting early here.
I'm love it, bro.
It's like down for a prelim. Yeah, I'm down for a prelim starting at noon.
Yeah, wake up, get some coffee, eat some breakfast, start watching the early prelims. It's great. Even
Yeah.
earlier, like if they're at 8 or 9, I don't mind that either.
Yeah. I don't know about that one, but I don't mind the main card starting at 5 p.m. our time.
No, that's perfect, especially for a
Yeah.
fight night. Like I almost don't like when a fight night goes all the way till 9:30 or 10
Yeah.
sometimes when
Yeah.
you're just waiting for the main event and
Yeah.
you want to go do something, but you got to watch this last fight.